Haley McCurry, and this is my second lesson plan for Math 1351. Okay, the topic today is going to be transformations, and it's for a 4th grade audience. Okay, students, who remembers what we talked about last week? If you can't remember, you can get out your notebooks and refresh your memory. Johnny. That's right, we learned about symmetry. Okay, Rebecca, can you tell the class what symmetry is? Great. It's when you divide a picture in half so that one side is exactly the same as the other side. Okay, let's look at this picture. Does it have symmetry? Yes? Where's the line of symmetry at? Right up and down through the middle. If you divide it in half, each side is going to be the exact same. Okay? Now let's look at this picture. Does this picture have symmetry? No? Why not? Sandra. Correct. Because all the sides are so different that it can't be folded exactly in half. Okay, great answer. Okay, so today we're going to learn about transformations. I want everyone to get out your journals, okay? I want you to write down everything that you think of when you hear the word transformation, okay? And it's all right not to know anything. Just write that down in your journal. Okay, Paul, will you share with the class what you wrote down? All right, the Transformers, right? The movie, that's what a lot of people think of. Landry, what did you think of? You didn't know what to write down. That's okay. You will know what to write down by the end of this lesson. Okay, there are many definitions of the word transformation. The first one is simply to transform or to change. Okay, that's the one that Paul thought of. In the movie Transformers, they changed into something else. Okay? There's another definition though, and it applies more to mathematics. This is the one that everyone needs to write down in your journal. Okay? Transformations are ways to move a figure that does not change its size or its shape. It's done by 3 different ways. There's rotation, there's translation, and there's reflection. Rotation is turning a figure around a fixed point. A translation is sliding the figure to a new location. And reflection is when an object is simply flipped over a line. Okay, does everyone have these written down? Great. Okay, on the board I have a rectangle. Okay, if I slide this rectangle to the right and up, then I've made a translation. I simply slid it over, okay? If I turn this paper, then I've made a rotation, okay? I'm rotating it around a point, okay? And if I flip it over this line, say there's a line right here, and I flip it over, that would be a reflection, okay? All right, let's look at these 2 figures, okay? How did we get from this first triangle to the second one? Did we rotate it? Did we translate it? Or did we reflect it? I want you to talk among your group at your table and write down an answer. Okay? Table 1. What did y'all get? Rotation. Table 2. Rotation. Table 3. Translation. And table 4. Rotation. Okay, let's find out what the correct answer is. Okay, if we take this first triangle, what do we need to do to it in order to get the second triangle? Okay, did we just slide it up? No. Did we flip it? No. Or did we rotate it? Right, in order to get this one, we just rotated it around that point. Okay, so by rotating the first triangle, we end up in the same position as the second triangle. So this is a rotation. Okay, now working in your groups, I would like for each of you to draw a picture that represents a translation. Okay, remember this is not arts class, so it does not need to be perfect. Get out your rulers and you can use them to help you. Your picture can be any shape as long as it represents a translation. Okay, remember a translation is just sliding the picture to a new location. Okay, I will be walking around to make sure everyone is on the right track. If you have any questions, just be sure to ask me. Okay, who would like to draw their picture on the board? Table 1, draw your picture for us. Great job, okay? Just by moving your picture of your stick figure, okay, you had this one, and you just slid it over. This makes a translation, okay? All right, now let's talk about reflections. What is the type of reflection that we use in everyday life? Right, mirrors, great job. Okay, a mirror makes a reflection. It flips whatever's in front of it, okay? So let's reflect this picture, okay? Which way do we want to reflect it? Okay, right here. All right, let's draw the line. Okay, if we flip it over that line, then we can see that we have a mirror image of the first picture. So what if we move the line of reflection? What if we move the line down here? What would we get? We would get this, right? It's simply reflected over that line. Okay? All right, great work, everybody. Now, students, we're going to do an activity. Everyone get out your notebooks. I have 10 objects up here at the front of the room. These objects are a book, a calculator, a flower, an umbrella. Think of it open. I'm not going to open it, but think of it open. A stuffed animal, a trophy, a water bottle, a squirt bottle, a comb, and a stapler. Okay, I want you to first draw these objects, and then I want you to draw a translation, a rotation, and a reflection of all of these objects. Okay, I have sheets of grid paper that I will pass out. The pictures do not need to be perfect, but they will need to have enough details so that I know what the picture is of. Okay, for example, for the book, do not just draw a rectangle. Draw the words, the title, and the author. And for the calculator, I want at least this screen up here and numbers. Okay, you don't have to draw all the buttons, but at least the numbers on there so that I know if you're rotating it right. Okay, and for the trophy, you don't have to draw all of this part. Just draw a star up here. Okay, I will pass around the objects so that you can get a closer look at them if you would like. When you're finished, so you should have at least 10, or you should have 10 original pictures plus the 3 drawings of each one. Try and fit all the drawings for each object on one piece of grid paper. So you should have 4 pictures on one piece of grid paper. Okay? Alright, I will be walking around to answer any questions you may have. This is an individual assignment, so be sure that you're not looking at your neighbor. If you need help, you can ask me. Okay, you all did really well on that assignment. I love the way that you all worked hard, so we will get free time at the end of the day. Okay, I will look over them tonight. We will talk about them first thing tomorrow for review, okay? All right, let's look again at our notebooks. At the beginning of class, I asked you to write down everything you could think of when you thought of the word transformations. Now, I would like for you to do that again. We've talked about a lot of stuff with transformations today, so I want you to think of everything we talked about and write it all down, okay? Jose, what is one thing that you wrote down? Right, there are 3 types of transformations. Kara, what are those 3 types? Right, translation, rotation, and reflection. Chad, what motion does a translation do? Right, it slides the object to a new position. Great. So who knows what a rotation does? Right, it rotates around what? Around a point, right? It just rotates around that point. Good job. Okay, Clayton, what about a reflection? It reflects it over a line. Good job. That's perfect. Okay, now I'm going to hold up a picture with 2 objects on it. I want you to hold up your hand with a 1 if it is a translation, a 2 if it's a rotation, and a 3 if it's a reflection. Okay, just hold up your hand with the number. Okay, what about this one? Right. Number 1, it's a translation. It's just simply sliding the picture over. Okay, this one. Right, number 3, it's a reflection. It simply reflects it over this point, over this line right here, okay? Reflects it over. Okay, and what about this one? Right. Number 2 is a rotation. You can see that if we take this picture and rotate it, we get this picture over here. Okay? Great job. Okay, so can anyone think of a real-world example where we might see transformations? Okay, one place that you might see them is in a stained glass window. Okay? Here's a picture of a stained glass window with transformations. Who can identify what transformations are involved here? Right, reflection and translation. Good job. So you can reflect these over these lines and you would get the exact same picture, or you can just translate them. You can just slide them across and you would also get the same picture. Okay, so what about this picture? This is also a stained glass window. What transformation is involved here? Rotation, correct, because if you rotate it, you would get the same picture no matter which way you rotated it, okay? So this is a rotation. Great job, everyone. Okay, the concepts of transformations will be important to know when you get up into your upper level classes like geometry. Geometry is all about shapes and figures and moving them and measuring them. So these concepts will be very important then. Okay, so tomorrow we will be learning what congruence is, okay? It's a property of all the figures that we talked about today. So we will learn about that tomorrow. This concludes my lesson. Thanks for watching.